So what can I say except you're welcome? You're welcome. To Multimedia Club cast.
I think this is our best intro yet.
I'm defeated.
You're defeated.
Yes.
Why are
I'm
you
defeated. Well, I'll tell you why. We were supposed to have a guest on today.
We were.
And it was going to be really super fun and exciting.
Yeah, we're shouting. We're doing a shout out to Thomas. We're putting him on fire.
We did Thomas impersonations in one episode, like a couple episodes ago.
And he was going to be on.
And then now he was going to be on. And we were going to have an episode where we talked about art. It was going to be really civilized and really intelligent.
But now we're going to talk about flinging shit.
Yes. But now he's not on due to circumstances out of our control. And then
I can't get a hold of him.
In the last episode, we realized that the AC was on in the background. And it was really noticeable. And I'm sorry, but I think we've fixed it. Like, we've turned it off, I think. But if it comes on, we're just going to keep going. Yeah. Sorry about that.
In fact, we probably won't even notice.
Yeah, probably. So with those out of the way, we're going to, even though we don't have a special guest for you today, we're going to do things a little differently today. Because there's video game things to talk about for once. And we're actually going to start off with that. So
yes, we are.
Skip this if you don't like video games.
Or keep listening to it if you don't like video games and just torture yourself if you're a masochist.
Yes, that too. Or use it as an excuse to buy a console or something, or a PC.
That'd be cool.
Yes. You're going to need to buy a console for the first game I want to talk about, and it's Horizon Zero Dawn.
New game just came out today.
Yeah. No, Horizon Zero Dawn came out about half a year ago.
And we both played that.
Yes, and we both played that. However, there's new DLC today called The Frozen Wilds. And only I have played that. I haven't beaten it, but only I have it.
Well, because it came out today.
It came out today.
Yeah.
And
dating the podcast.
This will probably come out like Wednesday or Thursday. I'm hoping Wednesday, but you never know. Last week, it came out late. We'll see. But yeah, if you're not familiar with Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a
cute little redhead running around with bows and arrows.
It's Breath of the Wild console edition. It's funny. I was just thinking about how
no, you're not wrong.
Horizon Zero Dawn and A Hat in Time have one major thing in common in my mind.
And what's that?
And that is they're both Horizon Zero Dawn acted as my. I don't have a Switch yet, and I'd very much like to play Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. But when Breath of the Wild was popular, Horizon Zero Dawn came out, and Horizon Zero Dawn was like my substitute for Breath of the Wild, and it was really good, but it's just, it's not Breath of the Wild. And A Hat in Time, I think, is going to be my substitute for Mario Odyssey, because it's also supposedly really good, but it's just not Mario Odyssey. So those two games are linked in my mind. And
I have a Wii U, so I've been playing Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah. Is Mario Odyssey on the Wii U?
Uh-oh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, Thomas.
Oh, Thomas just texted Josh. Do we want to,
no,
what do we do?
We're going to keep going.
No, what do you...
Nope, I'm done. I'm telling him that if he wants to join, he's going to have to run. I'm not going to pick him up.
Are you telling him to, just walk over here?
Yes.
He knows where I live, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Thomas,
we may have
Thomas might just show up at some point. So that's like an intrigue to keep you listening. All right. Okay. Back onto what I was talking about. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of pretty much my favorite game of. Did it come out last year? Yeah, or early this year.
Oh crap.
Well, it's my favorite game of at least the last 2 years. So
it's a good game.
So
it's a really good game.
It's honestly great, and I haven't played Breath of the Wild yet. Maybe I'd like that better, but
you'd probably like
Horizon Zero Dawn. What I love about Horizon Zero Dawn is it's actually I'm not a big fan of really difficult games, and Horizon Zero Dawn is punishingly difficult at times, but it feels completely fair. There's no shenanigans. It's just
I don't know. There's some shenanigans.
I guess, yeah. Sometimes the hit detection's a little weird, Actually, a lot of times the hit detection's a little weird, but it really feels like the better you get at the game, the easier it gets, because it's mostly just skill based. There are like certain areas where like monsters will not be your level and really destroy you.
Yeah, like if you're me and just want to fill up the whole map and you just go to the north real quick.
Yeah.
And then you get those sand demons from underneath that just murder you.
Oh yeah, I forget what they're called, but they crawl
like
under
burrowers.
the sand. Yeah, they suck.
The worst.
Those things are impossible to take down unless you're like level 30 with the shield weaver thing.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, I wanted to talk about I think it's called Shield Weaver. I haven't checked my equipment after
God mode armor.
God mode armor. There's an armor in the game that gives you a shield over your health, and when that shield is not like gone, then you take damage. You know, like it works like an overshield from any FPS. But the shield is so ridiculously strong, it makes you effectively invincible if you like know how to play the game. And I was considering not using that shield in the Frozen Wilds expansion because it makes the game too easy. But I'm realizing I think that shield was kind of designed for the Frozen Wilds expansion, because the Frozen Wilds expansion is much like the Souls series DLCs. It's just harder than the base game. It's like more of a challenge. And there are certain enemies that like send out a pulse that disables your shield. So I think it was built for that, basically.
Okay.
So if you haven't played the game and you plan on playing through with the Frozen Wilds expansion, you have to realize Frozen Wilds is tailored for level 30 and up. If you go in under that level, you're going to get destroyed. The first fight you encounter in there, I was level 50 and I almost died. Like it's like there's this you fight a new monster. I don't want to like spoil it. You fight a new machine, and I was like, okay, bring it on. I've got my shield. I'm level 50, and he wrecked my shield in one hit, and I was just like rolling away and like taking a ton of damage.
That sounds a lot like a Souls game.
Yeah, basically. I barely survived, and I was like, wow, okay, this is a little more difficult, and I was loving it because with the shield, the game had kind of lost its challenge, and this kind of injects a little more challenge into it and makes it a lot more engaging. So I'm liking the DLC for that so far.
Good.
And there's a tall neck in there, and like the way you encounter the tall neck is way different from anything else, any other cool. tall neck in the game. So
yeah, I'm probably gonna end up getting that DLC within this next upcoming year when it goes on sale, because I still haven't even beaten the game, so I'm behind. But
I think it's on sale for $15 right now.
All right.
I could be wrong about that. I got it when it was on sale for $15, but anyway, I highly recommend that DLC. What did Thomas say?
I got some news for you. Wait. He can't come.
Oh man!
He just interrupts our podcast.
What did he say?
Telling me that he cannot come, and he's so sorry.
Oh, what a roller coaster of emotion today. So Thomas will be on at some point, but not today. I'm sorry about that.
You're gonna go burn him alive.
Wow.
Wow.
Shoot me.
I don't know why I said that.
I want to make that a running
that's
joke.
That's okay.
Yeah. So that's I'm in.
Do you want to do like just a video game section, because now Thomas is out and we don't have a whole bunch else to talk about today?
Yeah, sure. I've got another game to talk about, but I want you to talk about what you want to talk about.
All right. I want to talk about Call of Duty.
Hey.
I got World War II, and I pre-ordered it, and I got all the Double Duty expansions. And I am actually not disappointed with my purchase.
Okay, here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know. I don't hate Call of Duty as much as a lot of people do. It's kind of like the internet hate machine, where it's like you're not allowed to like Call of Duty. Like
it's turned into Nickelback.
Yes. I don't hate it as much because each one is a functional shooter. Even the bad ones are a functional shooter. And
Infinity War, which I own and haven't played,
Yeah.
I've heard is not as bad as people say.
Yeah.
And people hate Infinity War.
Yeah. Wait, what's it called? Infinity War?
Infinity Warfare?
Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare?
Yes.
That's
I think the reason you keep calling it Infinity War is because of Infinity Ward,
Yeah,
the
probably.
company behind certain titles.
Probably.
Not World War II. I think
World War II, the companies behind that, I didn't realize Raven was behind it.
Raven?
Raven.
Oh. Well, it's Sledgehammer doing it.
Yeah.
And okay, here's I'm
It's actually Sledgehammer, Treyarch, Raven.
Treyarch?
Treyarch's
involved?
Yeah,
Oh.
Treyarch's involved.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So I suppose they haven't really like handed the reins over to Sledgehammer fully because if you don't know Call of Duty history,
Treyarch makes the good ones.
Yes, Infinity Ward, they started the series off. They were like the first developers behind it, and then there was a certain point in which Treyarch came in and made Call of Duty 3, I think, and they started switching off like every other title. So it was like two developers handling the same series.
And so it would go back and forth between Black Ops and Modern Warfare for a while.
Yes. And then in Modern Warfare 3, there's this newcomer who handled the multiplayer. Infinity Ward did the single player, and Sledgehammer did the multiplayer for Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 has some of my least favorite multiplayer in the entire series.
Same.
And then Sledgehammer got their own game sometime down the line called Advanced Warfare, which is one of, if not my favorite game all around. One of, if not my least favorite games all around in the whole series.
I was going to say, really?
No, not favorite. I wasn't really a huge fan of that game. Even though I think on this very channel I have gameplay from that, like, way back.
Because we still played it.
Yeah, that goes to my point where it's like, even though that game wasn't very good, it was.
I mean, you have Ghost gameplay, and everybody.
Yes, exactly. Ghost
Ghost
and Advanced Warfare weren't great, but the thing is, even though they're not great by Call of Duty standards, they're still perfectly functional shooters. If you like first-person shooters like me, they're fine. You know, they're like. See, I really liked Black Ops 3.
I did too.
I think a lot of people didn't like that one. I was a fan. I thought it was pretty cool.
I personally like the other two Black Ops better.
Yeah, I think I probably prefer Black Ops 2 a little more.
But Black Ops 3 was fine.
Yeah. No.
I didn't have any issues with it.
The Call of Duty series, as awful as people make it out to be, and if you don't like first-person shooters, Call of Duty will not win you over.
No.
Because it's very derivative, very samey.
Unless you want to play online multiplayer with your friends who all have Call of Duty, and then you convince them to play in third-person mode.
Yes. Third-person mode, has there ever been a Call of Duty game where third-person mode wasn't completely useless?
I don't know. I've never played it.
It sucks. It's never been good.
I know one time we decided that we were going to do, I don't know if this was with you, but we decided we were going to do third-person mode, headshots only, insta-kill.
Yeah.
It was the worst.
Yeah, I remember doing that kind of stuff in like Modern Warfare 2.
It was really bad.
By the way, but for the record, Modern Warfare 2 is my favorite.
Hell yeah, can't wait for that remake.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. I still have Modern Warfare 2 on the PC. I don't see why I need a remake.
Oh, I'm going to be playing that with people all day, every day. If there's a remake.
Yeah.
Got to break out my law, which isn't called the law. It's called the like LAW or something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
Which is also known as the law. So I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
So
World War II.
Yes. So this all comes around to the fact that like I don't hate the series, but I'm not a big fan of it. Like as I said, Advanced Warfare, I didn't like it. Ghosts, I didn't like it. Black Ops 3, it was fine, but it didn't really like hold my attention for a long time. So even though I will say I think Call of Duty gets a little more of a bad rap than it deserves, it is overstaying its welcome, and it is getting pretty stale at this point.
I would agree.
But
World War II, I think, did a pretty damn good job.
And then the reason I set up this whole thing about Sledgehammer is they're the ones doing World War II. Mm-hmm. And the two things they've done previously in the series are like the worst things in this series.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I had no interest in buying World War II. The fact that it's a Call of Duty game set in World War II was intriguing to me, but the fact that Sledgehammer is behind it killed my interest in
and
it.
the fact that that's already been done.
Yeah.
I mean, World at War was World War II Call of Duty.
And
There really wasn't a reason to bring it back to World War II except for the fact...
No, there's a way better reason to bring it back to World War II now than there was back then, because
sure,
the series has gotten so ridiculous. It's a sci-fi shooter now. Like,
well, no, I understand bringing it back into like realism, sure.
Yes.
But why World War II? You've been there, you've done that.
Because if they went back to World War I, they'd be criticized for copying Battlefield, which they
still
already
are.
They still are copying Battlefield, but I guess they thought Battlefield did the World War I thing. We'll just do what we do best, and that's World War II.
And you know what?
So what you're saying is they should have gone back to the Revolutionary War. Or like Civil War.
That would have been kind of cool, actually. Like, I wouldn't be against that.
Yeah, I don't think they could. I don't think Call of Duty could pull it off because they're all about that automatic. They can't translate the Call of Duty mechanics to a Civil War setting without it being completely inaccurate to the time period, which is actually something I want to discuss about World War II.
Oh yeah.
People are really the hugest criticism about the game I've heard is the fact that it's not period accurate in a lot of parts. And I don't get what the fuss is about. Like, who cares? It's Call of Duty. It's not a museum. It's not an art institute.
Yeah.
It's a dumb shooter.
I was just talking to a guy about this. He was talking about how people are complaining about that and how the online multiplayer isn't accurate. There were people complaining that there was an African American woman fighting in the war on both sides, the Axis and the Allies.
Yeah,
and they're complaining about that when they're running around with red dot sights on their guns in multiplayer.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 had the same thing. I don't think they had red dot sights in World War 1. Call me crazy.
And I mean, of course, they're not called red dot sights. They're called lenses with
they're essentially
marks.
red dot sights.
It's a red dot sight. Don't even. But don't get your history don't get your history from Call of Duty.
Right, exactly. It's meant to be fun, and it's not supposed to.
Now, let me tell you something. I haven't seen Saving Private Ryan. I haven't seen any of those going to Normandy things.
Yeah.
But I was thinking okay, so I have Call of Duty downloaded, and the servers were offline for an hour or two because they were doing maintenance because it was being flooded, of course.
Yes.
And this was the day it came out.
That almost always happens at the launch of a Call of Duty game.
It's unavoidable. So I was just okay, I'll play some campaign. I started it up, and I gotta say, that first mission in the campaign, it's all about we're just storming the beaches of Normandy. And it's really impactful. I was really surprised with the tingles I was getting, shivers on down my body.
Well, yeah, it probably emulates. I think it was Call of Duty 2 that had the D-Day mission. I think.
It was really
the point
good.
is they've done the D-Day thing before in the series, and it's kind of a throwback this time around, I suppose.
Oh.
And it's very heavily inspired by Saving Private Ryan, because Saving Private Ryan has the best D-Day scene ever put to screen, if you ask me.
Like I said, I haven't seen that, but this really gave me tingles. I was honestly sitting there kind of horrified.
Yeah.
I was able to imagine being there.
Yeah, that's what happened to me during...
impressive for Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's what happened to me during Saving Private Ryan. I remember, I think I said this before, when I was first watching Saving Private Ryan, I almost had to turn it off because it was getting too intense for me.
Yeah.
And I never have to do that for movies, but it was just, wow. It's so insane.
I was alone in my bedroom, and I paused the game at multiple points because I was just oh my God.
Yeah.
And I don't do that.
I will say,
I was in shock, actually. From
the clips I've seen from the campaign of World War II, the voice acting and the animation is pretty impressive to me. It's it's always been a thing that Call of Duty's tried to be good at, but they've never quite gotten there. Mm-hmm. But it's actually pretty good in World War II, I have to admit.
Mm-hmm. It was... Yeah, no. If you get a chance, just go to a friend's house, play that first mission,
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, especially compared to Call of Duties of the past. This is the best Call of Duty since campaign since since probably
Modern Warfare 2 or
I don't know. I might like it better than Modern Warfare 2.
okay.
This might be since like World at War.
Modern Warfare 2 is like that's my favorite Call of Duty campaign because, I just have so much nostalgia for it.
Understandably.
And you know what Call of Duty game had a surprisingly good campaign? Black Ops 3.
I didn't play the campaign all that.
It's pretty boring for like the first half of it, but then like they really jumped the shark in that game. And I think it's part of the reason why they just like abandoned the whole, the term jump the shark, which is oh, okay. No. It's like I can't bring up the dictionary definition. Well, it's not like a dictionary term. It's a term meaning when a series it hits its peak level of like absurdity and it becomes no longer like credible, basically. Okay. That like I think it's a reference to it was like one of those older shows. What show is it in reference to? There's an episode of like an older show where like one of the characters literally jumps a shark on like a jet ski.
Happy Days?
Happy Days, yeah. One of the characters jumps a shark on a jet ski, and then people pinpoint that as the moment in which the show like became too absurd to be enjoyable.
Just kind of a novelty.
And like a drop off of quality.
Right.
And it's been parodied a lot. I think there's a Simpsons episode where that happens.
Okay.
And
I didn't realize that was a term, but
the Call of Duty campaign, as far as I'm concerned, jumped the shark with Black Ops 3, like the second half of it, because it's so outside of the realm of reality. It's so like abstract fantasy. It's no longer sci-fi anymore. It's just like you're trapped inside somebody's mind, Inception style, and you're like fighting demons. It's like
really weird.
It's like it's so insane.
Fair enough.
And I was like, I cannot believe I'm playing a Call of Duty game right now. And after a while, I just gave over to the absurdity, and I actually had a pretty fun time with it because it's so
fair enough.
It's so psychedelic. It's crazy.
Now I'm gonna gush about World War II for a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yes, there's no regenning health in the main game.
Yeah, that's what I like.
That's only multiplayer and zombies, which I'm glad that they kept.
That's only campaign for the no regenerating health.
Yes, I meant the regenning health is in multiplayer and zombies.
Okay.
My bad.
Just to clarify.
Yeah, they explain it in the prologue for the zombies, which I'll get to zombies and gush about that. And in multiplayer, it was just not really feasible for them to not have regenning health. Because it didn't work with the gameplay.
Yeah, I think some baby steps. I guess I'm okay with them keeping the regenerating health in multiplayer because to make it no longer based on regenerating health, you'd have to rework everything about Call of Duty multiplayer.
Yep.
To do that in campaign is fine, because you don't have to rework all that much. Like we've seen from Black Ops 3, Call of Duty campaign's like an empty canvas. You can do anything with it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so long as the multiplayer stays the same, people will be fine with it.
People typically are.
And, so I think it's pretty cool that they ditched regenerating health in the campaign, honestly. I think that's something that I've always thought they should give a shot because like the old Call of Duties were like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that idea.
There are constant reminders of Call of Duty 2 in this. There's actually a remade map for the multiplayer that's cool. Just in the game. Not DLC or anything. It's just in the game. Which I'm happy with. It's a good map. It's a good time. The guns, oh my gosh. I'm so happy to be holding that M1 Grand again. Yeah. Ding! Yes! I'm so happy. I know the ding means I have to reload and I'm probably going to die, but it still makes me happy.
Yeah. No, that's always been one of my favorite Call of Duty guns from the old series.
1911's in there.
Yeah, 1911 and the M1 Garand will always be the coolest guns in that series as far as I'm concerned. So I'm glad to see there's a return of the M1 Garand.
I'm thoroughly happy with the multiplayer so far. The only downside is that I don't have that many people to play with that I know yet.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to convince you sometime.
I'm somewhat convinced to get it from what I've seen.
Here we go.
But the thing is, I'm practically broke, and I think here's something that'll blow you away. You know what's actually like more on my radar than Call of Duty? Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm actually probably gonna get that.
Fair enough. I've heard a lot of good things. Getting rid of. We'll get to Assassin's Creed.
Look,
actually.
I just want to like I haven't liked Assassin's Creed since 2, so I'm not what you'd call an Assassin's Creed fan.
I mean,
so
fair enough.
The fact that Origins makes me want to get it is pretty shocking to me. But I guess it's so different that now it's something that's worthwhile, probably.
Now let's talk about zombies.
Okay, before preface this, I also don't like. I really don't like a lot of things in this episode.
That's fine.
Haven't liked zombies since. The funny thing about this is, I loved Nacht der Untoten, the first zombie map.
Yep.
The second zombie map, I was like, okay, this is a little more complicated, but I'm kind of with it, and they've gone downhill from there.
So
in
you
my
liked
opinion.
Black Ops?
Yes,
Zombies.
I liked World at War Zombies.
Oh,
Black
the
Ops,
second map at World at War.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
You didn't like Black Ops Zombies?
Not really. I mean, it was okay, but like not really.
You didn't like Kino?
No, not really. I didn't.
Okay.
I liked Nacht der Untoten. The rest, not my thing.
Okay.
So,
Fair
and
enough.
the reason for it is Nacht der Untoten is really straightforward and simple. You're in this house. You're shooting zombies out the windows. You like progress through it. Really simple.
Mm-hmm.
And then the zombies have gotten to such a crazy level of complicated that it's no longer enjoyable to me.
I agree.
It's like go around the map and find this little teddy bear and hit X, and then you have to like go like pick up this wrench, and then you have to go like open this window and buy this gun, and then go like gamble money on like a random upgrade, and then like
a bunch of nonsense.
Go like roll this dice,
I
and
agree.
depending on what number it lands on, you have to like hit this button a certain number of times, and it's like. I remember when we were just shooting zombies. You know, it was.
I completely agree.
Yeah, and how is it in World War II?
I love it.
Okay.
Like I played Black Ops 2 Zombies. I got into Buried quite a bit. I never understood how to beat Buried, like the maze and the house with the ghosts. Yeah. I was like, that's a whole bunch of nonsense. But I enjoyed the map as a general.
Yeah.
Everything else. Ever since like Kino, I really haven't enjoyed. Kino, Buried, and then everything before Kino was fine.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I am impressed. This was the same day, first day out. The servers were down, so I'm like, okay, I'll play campaign. I did that, I beat it, and I'm like, all right, I'm taking a break from this campaign. And then I went to zombies.
Yes.
And so I started playing zombies, and you know, zombies, how far do you usually get on your first time on a new map when you're by yourself?
Wave 8, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe even like wave 5.
It's pretty early. Yeah. It's definitely not double digits. I got into wave 18
on
my first try, which
that's not even solo?
me. That's not even me boasting.
Yeah.
I think that's just how the game's made. And
so
I think it's made
it's
well.
meant to be like you can actually kind of play it
so you can understand it.
So is it more streamlined and less complicated?
Very.
That's great.
I like
to hear that. One thing I've also heard about it is, you know, there's like there's like zombies in space, and you turn into like a Jeff Goldblum ghost in Black Ops 3.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I hear that World War II, it's like back to like a dark, scary tone with the zombies.
Very much so.
Like
it's very horror.
It's not as campy. It's more horror.
Very.
And I'd be very much into that.
Actually, this brings me to two of my biggest irritations. One's a little bit more minor, but there is a shovel which you get for a weapon.
Yeah.
And you can do a heavy attack with it where you aim and then you attack. And that would be great. Like, you do more damage, sure. And what you do is you dig it into their neck and you pop off their heads.
Yes.
My biggest issue is that animation takes like 2 seconds, which is definitely long enough to get you killed.
Yeah, right.
Because I've gotten killed by it many times.
Okay. So, yeah, maybe they'll patch that. I'm sure they will.
And
if it's really an issue.
it's an issue for me. But whatever.
Yeah.
That's my one big issue. My other big issue is the horror aspect. I love it. I really do. I like how the zombies look. I like how the place looks.
Yeah.
My biggest issue is so let's say you're running and you're shooting, and then all of a sudden the zombie's behind you, right?
Right.
And you don't notice, and then you turn around and you see a zombie.
Yes.
It plays a music cue
Really?
when you haven't noticed it, and you turn.
They do jump scares?
They do jump scares.
Whoa. Is that a thing they've done before? I
No,
don't think so.
I don't think so.
The fact that if they know that you haven't seen the zombie and it's near you and you turn around, it goes like
Yeah, it goes like
wow.
like violins.
Wow, so it really is more like a horror game.
It is. I've jumped multiple times. That's another one where I had to pause it because it's just like, oh my, grabbing my chest.
That's pretty cool.
It's
honestly.
impressive, and my biggest issue with it is that it's gotten me so many times.
Yeah.
Because zombies, they're everywhere. So it's like every time, and then there's been a few where I like turn and I'm like expecting there to be zombies, and it'll be like, what? And I'll just be like, come on.
Yeah.
Like that's the only time I've been like, really.
I actually kind of like that because you know what it's cool about that is it's actually kind of a fun little psychological thing because in every horror game I've played, I've found that jump scares are the worst when you're trying to do resource management because when you like get startled, you like unload a clip. You like unload a clip into something and it's just out of reflex. So it's like the more you like lose track of zombies, the more ammo you're going to lose because if you turn around, you see a zombie and it's like right there and you get the whoo, and then you just like you just like unload a full clip into it.
Oh yeah. I gotta say, I am thoroughly impressed. Another thing you have to realize about the zombies is that at first the map seems confusing. Like I was like, God, this thing is huge. It's not as big as you think it is.
Right.
At least not where I am.
The size of the map's not a huge issue with me. It's just like the weird objectives in the previous ones.
Now this is where it's kind of cool.
Can you hit a switch and turn into a ghost? Okay, good.
Not as far as I know.
That's the worst thing ever.
One of the coolest things about the map and just the game in general now is it's not about killing the zombies. It is actually about getting to objectives.
Okay.
Which you would originally I originally was like, oh my god, are you serious? I have to do this?
Yeah.
But it's actually really cool.
Okay.
They make it clear on what you're supposed to do. They show you kind of where you're supposed to go.
That's an improvement right there.
Very
because
much
in
so.
the other maps, it's just you're just on your own. You have to like figure it out from trial and error.
The objectives are clear.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
So I got you have to craft this weapon. There's that kind of stuff too, kinda.
Yeah.
But it makes way more sense.
Okay.
Like it's actually like, oh, okay, I want to go collect this piece so I can continue on with this objective kind of train that I have going.
Right. Yeah.
And the objectives actually aren't just like random crappy objectives. I mean, they kind of are, but there's objective where there's this thing on the ceiling and it has this red light circle, and you have to kill zombies within this circle to progress it to a certain area.
Okay.
And this was the scariest and worst part for me because, like, at that point, all the power and lights go off. And so it's dark. Every time you turn, jump scare.
That reminds me of that part in BioShock where you find the guy like mutilated on the ground, and when you get close to him, all the lights go out. Yep. You're just in the spotlight, and there's just like guys coming at you left and right. So it's like that kind of.
It's legitimately. It's good. I really like it. I'd love to have you over and we could do multiplayer.
I want to do that so badly because I think that'll definitely like help me decide if I want to get it or not.
Oh yeah, and I mean I've gotten, like I said, round 18, and I got through. I don't even know how much there is objective wise or story wise in the zombie mode, but I felt like I was making progress, and if I go back when I go back to it, not if when I go back to it, I feel like I'm gonna have a better understanding.
Okay.
And so I'll actually feel like I'm improving on it, even if it is only like, oh, I got this to this place just 5 rounds earlier because I understood what I was up to.
Yeah, yeah.
So I am thoroughly impressed with what they've done.
That sounds cool to me. I'm a little more convinced to eventually pick it up. I'm thinking I'll wait for a sale, probably.
By
yeah,
all means.
yeah. I have one more video game to talk about. Sorry, we've talked about video games for like 35 minutes. That's
dang.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
If we find that there's more stuff to talk about, we can make this a slightly longer episode, whatever, because we started early, so we have more time.
Yeah.
Basically, the last game I want to talk about. Good thing that you mentioned Call of Duty, because all those people that say Call of Duty is everything that's wrong with shooters these days. This game is for them. It's the Doom remake, the 2016.
I'm so glad you picked that up.
Doom yeah, I just bought it for $30. I don't regret it. It's a little steep for me. I typically don't buy games at that price, but I don't regret it because
it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like everything that Call of Duty isn't. Where Call of Duty is constantly trying to push the boundary with all this like new crap they can push in. Doom is just a straightforward arena shooter.
Running and gunning.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
With big, wide open arenas, health packs, armor packs, just pick up ammo, kill demons. It's perfect.
It's real simple.
Yes.
The story, you can be invested if you want. I ain't.
No,
I'm running and gunning.
In fact, the amount of ambivalence, like lack of interest in the story provided by your main character is actually kind of a joke. Like, there's actually a story going on, and there's like minor spoilers here, but there's this part where this guy's like, "Oh, we got these like filters for this demonic energy. You need to go and like carefully pick them apart and do something with them," and your guy comes up to it and just kicks it and just like kicks a hole in it. And the guy who's telling you to like fiddle with them and like fix them or whatever like gets progressively more angry every time you just destroy one. And your guy, it's like it's that kind of stuff. Your character just thinks with his fists. And that's...
Oh, yeah, that's how every objective is dealt with.
Literally, everything in the game you solve by punching it.
Yeah.
I am not kidding. The general action of the game is bound to the same button as the melee button.
It is.
So
it's like, hit a button.
Yeah.
You just, like, punch through the door.
And when you grab upgrades from the robots, you yank it out of their arms and then punch the robot for no reason.
Yeah.
You just punch it.
You're just like, give me that. Boom.
The first time that happened, I laughed out loud. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just a little hovering drone.
Yeah,
and
it's a
pulls it
guy.
out. He has it. Like, it's in his possession. And then he just punches the drone. Like, and the drone doesn't even, like, get knocked out of the air or anything. It's still there.
Gets, like, knocked back.
Yeah, it gets knocked back and it returns to its place. And it's like... that's really funny.
Oh, yeah. No, that game is, if you like run and gun shooters...
It is.
It's good.
Violent. It kind of revels in its violence. It is fast-paced, brutal. Your character is just this, like, walking, like, muscly steak that just, like... like, he's just this big hunk of meat that just gets thrust at demons. Like, he's like this
metal covered meat.
Yes, this massive like Master Chief. If he was way more jacked,
that's very true.
that's your character.
It's like jacked up Master Chief, which you didn't think was possible.
It's funny. I liked the game from the very first shot where you're tied to a table and you look down and you see like your massive bicep. And it's like your arms are like huge. It's like, oh wow,
they're just chunky sausages.
Yeah. And then you...
Yeah, the first thing you do is you just, like, rip out of chains.
Yeah, you rip out of chains, and then you, like, you grab a demon and crush its head, and then you just wipe out a whole room of demons, and then you, like, get in your suit, and then you listen to a video message, and then you punch the video message. It's the funny...
Oh my god,
no,
yeah, it's really good.
For, like, all these modern games, all these modern shooters that have, like, a lot of nuance to them, and they're trying to be
so
like,
serious.
trying to be, like, art, Doom is such a breath of fresh air.
I mean, it is almost art with how it portrays itself.
It's so incredible, like...
It's really fun. Go play it.
Yeah. It's like I had issues with Doom 3 because Doom 3 was kind of like that. I mean, Doom 3, you still play like a beefy guy killing aliens,
Yeah.
but it wanted to be an atmospheric open world horror game. And it kind of worked. It was like, this seems unnecessary because this is a Doom game. Doom is the perfect Doom game because it's so
exactly
it's
what
so
you
simple.
need.
Yeah, it's like
It's everything you want in a Doom game.
if you want like a big meathead who just punches everything,
And that's Doom.
Yeah, that's Doom.
That's what Doom is.
Yeah. I love it so far.
Oh yeah, it's good.
I don't know how many levels there are in the game, but I get the feeling I've hit like pretty much a halfway point. So yet at the point where I'm at, and I think it's going to be a little shorter than I was expecting. I've heard people say it's a little short. I think.
Okay.
Have people said that? Because like
I don't know.
It seems to me like it's gonna end up being shorter than I thought it would be. But
I don't even know where I am in the game.
I'm fine with it.
I just like busted into hell and then out of hell.
Okay. I'm not in hell yet, so
okay.
You're probably ahead of me. I'm still on Mars.
Okay.
Which, none of this is spoilers because Doom, Hell, Mars, that's just the thing about it.
And it's like a 1 or 2 year old game right now.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's alright.
So, pick that up if you want a really no-nonsense, straightforward first-person, like, arena shooter. I feel like when I say first-person shooter, I have to clarify, it's not a first-person shooter in the sense that, like, Call of Duty... It shouldn't be put in the same genre as Call of Duty because it's the anti-Call of Duty. I enjoy both, but if I had to choose one, I would pick Doom because it's so just unadulterated fun.
Have you played the multiplayer yet?
Not yet.
You have it on PS4?
I do.
You want to play multiplayer?
Sure, we could try it. I've heard that the multiplayer isn't quite like the campaign's the real draw to it, and the multiplayer is just kind of there.
All right.
I've heard the multiplayer is like functional, but not anything special.
Okay.
So, but I'd give it a shot. You know,
sure.
Whatever. I haven't played like an old school arena shooter multiplayer game since Unreal 3. Or Unreal Tournament 3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could give it a shot.
Now I have one thing I want to talk about for video games before we move off.
Okay, what's that?
I made a mistake.
What's that?
It's not a mistake.
Okay.
I've pre-ordered Shadow of the Colossus.
It's
not a mistake.
That's fine by me.
The mistake was I ended up spending money.
Oh, okay. How much is it to
like
pre-order?
$40.
That's okay. I have really conflicting opinions about the new remake because on the one hand, you know, Shadow of the Colossus is, in my opinion, one of the best games ever made. And the fact that they're like giving it great new visuals, like it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the visuals that it deserves as a game. But there has to come a time where Sony's going to stop repackaging this specific game because they've done it twice now, I think.
I don't know. I've never owned it.
There's the PS3 remake. There's the PS2 original, PS3 remake, and now there's a PS4 remake. And I get a little miffed when a company just keeps repackaging the same game, like every decade or so, you know?
Yeah, no, I get you.
So I'm a little frustrated with it, but if it comes out and it runs well and the graphics are great, sure, I'm okay with it because it's such a good game that it deserves that.
And you know what? There's so many people out there that haven't played it and they don't know about it. And that was me for the longest time. You know, I've still never played it. I mean, I know a lot about it now.
Yeah, I remember
but I've
playing
never
it as
touched
a kid. It was so good.
So that's my one excuse for pre-ordering it and spending too much money on games that I can't afford.
Yeah,
because I'm a poor boy. But yeah, no, that's all I have to say about that. I'm really excited. Comes out next year.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned A Hat in Time earlier. I have one more thing to say about that. The reason I say I think it's going to be a Super Mario Odyssey stand-in for me is the fact that it has not been released on consoles yet, and that should really happen. It's kind of frustrating to me because they said when I talked through like a yawn just there, I sounded like Jeff Goldblum, and we'll get to that later.
It'll take up 2 hours.
It's kind of frustrating to me because they released on PC, obviously, and then they said coming to consoles this fall, later this fall. There's no specific release date. So it's just up to me to just check the store every once in a while, see if it's up, and it's not up yet.
I have a feeling that it is probably going to get postponed, and then it's going to pull an Undertale, and it's going to take way too long, but it's finally going to get there after everyone's already bought it on PC.
Yes. I'm considering just breaking down and buying it on PC. Here's my thing. My PC is okay, but it's not great. A game like A Hat in Time, I don't want there to be any stutter, because it's such a reaction-based game. On my PC, I can't guarantee that I'll be able to run it without stutter, without like frame dropping. So if I were to buy it on PC and it didn't run, I can just refund it.
Yeah.
But if I were to buy it on, say, PS4 and it did run, but I didn't like it, I couldn't refund it.
That's
so
true.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might just buy it on PC, and if it doesn't run, I'll refund it. I'll play it enough to know if I will like it, because I don't play 3D platformers like at all.
I mean, there hasn't been any good ones.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. You know, it looks fun to me, but maybe I'll just play it and I'll realize that 3D platforming collectathons aren't my thing.
Maybe.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that we've talked for nearly an hour about video games, let's move on.
How do you like Assassin's Creed Origins?
My brief opinion about that is it looks like Horizon Zero Dawn, and it looks way more like RPG than the other Assassin's Creed.
Way better freeform
better combat. The combat looks actually fun, and the combat has always been the worst thing about that series, even
just
in 2.
Counter.
Just counter. And it's so frustrating, and I hate it. But in this, it's like more like Dark Souls combat, where there's like you dodge and
there's
like
actual hitboxes. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm interested in that, but let's move on to our movies of the week.
Actually, can we stay on video games for like 5 more seconds?
Sure. What else do you want to say?
Just because we haven't really done a video game section, let's end this section with what's your favorite video game? Or video game series?
That's going to be really boring for me because
that's fine.
I have to break it down between...
You're a really calm dude.
You know what? I have 3 answers.
You like a lot of things.
Yes. I'm super into a lot of things. I have 3 answers. What is the best video game, objectively? Shadow of the Colossus. What is the game that I've pumped the most hours into and got the most enjoyment out of? Borderlands 2, probably. And Josh knows this for a fact. That's why he's giggling. Because I am an absolute Borderlands 2 addict.
I still go on the PS4 and I'm just like, oh, look at that. Colin's back to being Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I'm currently in a playthrough right now. Like, when I'm not playing Horizon Zero Dawn or Doom, I'm playing Borderlands 2. So,
really funny.
And my middle ground between those for best made game that I've played a lot of and that I'm a huge fan of, so probably my favorite game is Portal 2.
Portal 2?
Yes.
Cool.
Probably, my favorite gaming experience out there, and everybody needs to experience it. It's a puzzle game where the puzzles are actually interesting and not super frustrating, and it has a great story and great humor. It's one of the funniest games you will ever play.
Yeah, it's really good.
Best game for me, Portal 2.
Now mine's going to be kind of boring for you, because you already know.
Yeah.
The Soulsborne series.
Which is your favorite?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne? Okay. Yeah. That's from what I've played with Bloodborne, that's understandable. It's an excellent game.
Bloodborne, that just Victoria era and the aggressive playstyle is just... I like to rip things to shreds in that game. It's real fun for me. But Souls games in general, they're really good. Well-made games.
Yeah.
Hitboxes were wonky in the first 2. What do?
Yeah.
You get the third one.
I mean, hitboxes are wonky in Horizon Zero Dawn, and I still love it. You know?
Oh my god, best hitboxes are in 3. I just gives me the shakes when I see those arrows fly between my armpits.
Makes me wanna shake.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to that later too. We actually, We have more stuff to talk about than I thought we did.
But yeah, so Bloodborne's, Dark Souls, fantastic series. Play them all, buy them all, give them money, give that wonderful creator money. And then right up there with that is the Legend of Zelda series, all of them.
Yeah.
The crappy ones too, the non Nintendo ones. I don't even care if it has the name of Legend of Zelda. I want it.
Yeah.
They may be the worst.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't get around it. I've met somebody I just met a guy. He's like, I don't like Legend of Zelda. I'm like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and the thing with me is I don't have an opinion on it because I haven't played enough of it,
which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is really. There's just this cool little kid with a green tunic and this cool sword.
I really liked Wind Waker when I was a kid.
Wind Waker's awesome.
Yeah.
I
want to play Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Legend of Zelda's good. If I had to pick one game though to pick, it'd probably still be Bloodborne.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
Bloodborne's so good.
And of course, I'm very bad at video games, so Bloodborne isn't the game for me.
Yeah.
I've tried it a lot at Josh's house, and I've gotten farther than I would have thought I would have gotten, but it's just I hit a wall where I'm like, there's no way this is gonna work for me, because I am just bad at that kind of game.
I'm also a big fan of Borderlands 2 though. Like you.
Yeah. We've both, between the two of us, we've probably spent 2 months in Borderlands 2.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, because I was actually just thinking about it. Borderlands 2 is probably the only game I'm good at. When I'm playing Borderlands 2, I can just, wreck everything because I know everything about the combat in that game.
Speed run that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
I still have to sit down and show you that speed run that I was talking about.
Oh, real quick thing. One little thing.
Yeah.
This won't apply to anybody who doesn't play Borderlands, so just bear with me. I'll try to make this quick, but when you play as Maya, I have decided that the most overpowered thing in her entire skill tree is Cloud Kill, which is it gets the acid cloud.
Mm-hmm.
I knocked out... I was at level with Bunker. In fact, Bunker was a level above me, as I had just unlocked the acid cloud. And this is after I faced a badass constructor. If you ever don't play Borderlands, that's actually a character. That's actually badass is a level of power in Borderlands because they're just cool like that. And I killed it in 2 seconds, and it out-leveled me. And I faced Bunker, and I killed it in a minute and a half, and it out-leveled me.
Yes.
With the cloud kill, because...
Oh yeah, cloud is
insanely overpowered.
Especially in that game with how many robots there are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so useful.
It's perfect for robots because robots don't move all that much, and it's corrosive, which is their weakness, and
it's great.
It makes fighting robots a joke, basically.
It really does.
There's no that game is like the shield, the energy shield from Horizon Zero Dawn. It just makes combat. There's no skill required. I almost want to respec so I don't have it because now there's no challenge. But,
you can do that.
Yeah. Whatever. That's actually a thing I like about Borderlands. You can respec at any time if you find
and just give different
play styles a chance.
Yeah. Wow, that was too hard.
Yeah.
So, you want to do movies or music?
Let's get music out of the way because I don't have anything to talk about for music.
Me neither.
And we have a big topic to talk about for movies. In fact, it's going to cover everything. You know what I mean? You want to go through all of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's to come. We're going to talk about every movie ever made.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought you were saying at first.
No, but you know what I mean, yeah.
We're going to talk about all of them.
Okay.
Every single one.
In fact, actually, I'm going to get a list up for... Anyway, what's your song of the week?
My song of the week is more of an album of the week. It's actually going to tie in with movies. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, what is it, 2-3 years ago, whatever, I ended up buying the soundtrack to Rocky Horror Picture, and somehow it ended up back in my car, and I've just been listening to that for multiple days on end. Okay. But let's pick a track off there for you guys to listen to. Let's go with, do you want to do Transsexual Transylvania?
Yes.
Or do you want to do Mega Man?
Mega Man.
Mega Man.
Actually, I'll say Make You a Man, whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called
specifically. The one where he goes,
either.
in just 7 days, I can make you a man. Anyway, that was way louder. Well, I want to see what that looks like on the... I'm sorry about that. Oh boy, that's a block of sound.
I'm okay with it.
Wow, okay. I just get excited when I think about Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Fair enough. Which one do you want to let them listen to?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Hit
because, yes.
He'll do press-ups and chin-ups, do the snatch, clean and jerk. He thinks dynamic tension must be hard work. Such strenuous living, I just don't understand. When in just 7 days, oh baby, I can make you a man.
Okay. You know what part I'm going to pick for that, right?
Dude.
Snatch. notice how he said snatch. One thing to note about that is it's 2 tracks because in the middle of it there's a Meatloaf solo, and that's its own track. So it's kind of 3 tracks.
Yeah.
But it's one song in my opinion because whatever.
Yeah. Well, and if you skip from the first to the second part of Tim Curry's amazing song, they don't fit.
Yeah,
you really do have to listen to that song in the middle because as soon as it goes
Right.
into deltoids, it's like the beat changes.
Yeah, deltoids. Bicep.
Bicep. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, and watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. For the love of God, watch Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Watch it. It's so good.
Oh, boy.
I will get dirt in his face when kicked to the ground.
Oh,
It's so
gosh.
good.
I am so...
Oh, God. And legs.
Okay, I found a... Okay, well, this will come into play later. So...
Yeah.
My song of the week is quite different. It is...
It's not a...
Yeah.
It's not an anthem for
It's
the
not a...
LGBTQ community.
It's not.
Plus.
I'm sorry. I'm a bigot. It's
Well, I'm glad you had to throw that one in there.
It's Bathtubs by Royal Canoe.
Oh, that sounds like...
No, I don't think so. I don't know. Check it out.
Check it out.
Like a phantom, and you can't get a grip unless you grab it. Somebody comes in the hallway. I need to stay. Somebody comes in the hallway. I need to stay. One for every bedroom where the tenants used to pay. Somebody comes in the hallway. I'm in the way.
And it's a... Did you get another message from Thomas?
Nope.
Oh, okay. It's a kind of a... It has a little bit of like a disco flavor to it. It's not a disco song, but there's like some instrumentation and like high vocal stings that remind me of disco. You know,
Okay.
you'll see what I mean. Well, I think I played it for you earlier. But you'll see what I mean if you listen to it. It's got a little bit of a disco flavor.
It's got a flavor.
Really
I like
groovy,
flavor.
really funky. I love that chorus. It just like hits you so hard and like, oh, I can't help but like jam out to it every time I listen to it. It's just a dance track, you know.
Fair enough.
It's I promise next week I'm going to do something a little different because I feel like all of my picks have kind of been in the same like realm of like the same musical scene. I want to go something.
You've been really getting into that scene though lately.
Yeah, like the weird like indie art rock, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. So next week I'm gonna do something like way out of that scene though. So
Well, I'll
stay
be waiting.
tuned. Stay tuned. And yeah, I don't really have anything musically to talk about this week. So do you want to jump right into movies?
I kind of just want to sing the entire soundtrack to Rocky Horror Picture.
That would be good, but we'd sing it so good we get copyright striked.
Well, you know what? They could just go ahead and touch me.
Yes. Oh boy.
All right. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk movies.
Okay. Oh boy.
So, what's your favorite part of Rocky Horror Picture Show?
My favorite part
What's
is
your favorite part?
where Dr. Scott is in his wheelchair, and then like he's got blankets over his legs,
Yeah.
and then he raises his leg and he's wearing fish stockings because he's like begun the transformation,
Oh yes,
and he's getting
it's so good.
Yes, that's my favorite part of the movie. It's like a 2-second shot, but it makes my day every time I see it.
I think my favorite part is your also other favorite part.
Yeah,
It's the one with Tim Curry in it.
Yes, that's my favorite scene in the whole movie. The one with Tim Curry in it.
Yep. All right.
Any scene with Tim Curry is just amazing.
It's so good.
That is like
Aww.
honestly one of the best performances given by anybody in any movie, and this includes Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, it's so good. He is like the most flamboyant. Oh, it's so good.
I love Tim Curry. I really do.
It's so good.
Have you? Hold on a second.
Oh, what are you doing?
Have you seen the clip of him in like Command and Conquer Red Alert 3? I think it is.
I don't think
He was
so.
he was in that game. This ties back to games. Or where he's like talking about he's like, I will escape to the only place not, he's like a Russian communist, and he's like, I will escape to the only place not touched by capitalism, space. Here, hold on. Here, I'll play. Oh wait, I can't play it. Never mind, because the mic's plugged in. Darn it! That's the second time we've done this. Hold on.
Goodness sakes.
Talk about Tim Curry some more. I'll get it on my phone.
Tim Curry is just as soon as he appears right after Time Warp, which is a great song, he blows me away every time.
Yes.
He just pops out and he's like, yeah. And I'm just like, oh boy, here it goes again. God, that part where he's like, why don't you just come up to the lab and see
Yes.
what's on the slab?
Okay, my phone speaker's
I
awful,
see
but
you
here.
shivering with anticipation.
Here, my phone speaker's awful.
But maybe!
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, alright, here, check it out.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
What is that?
It's from Command and Conquer Red Alert 3.
Have you played it?
No, I haven't. I just know of that scene. Space!
Okay.
Anyway, that's
Glad we took time.
enough Tim Curry loving for the day.
I don't agree with that, but okay.
Okay. Okay, here's what our topic for movies is gonna be. So
Favorite movies.
This will let you know.
Are we doing favorite movies or movie of the weeks?
Oh yeah, movie of the week first. Sorry, yeah, I almost ruined our format.
That's right.
Movie of the
I
week.
already did, but
What's your movie of the week?
my movie of the week is The Breakfast Club.
Oh, good choice.
I figure, we've been doing these other movies that have just been newer and more artsy and really cool that I really like all of the ones that we've chosen that I've known of.
I know of one specific wheelchair riding man who's gonna like your choice because I believe it's his. I believe it's his favorite movie.
I want this podcast to become super famous, and then you just... I know one wheelchair riding man. What?
This
I mean, I know who you're talking about.
dispenser of wheelchair justice.
Oh, no. Well, that's good. I'm glad he likes it because
Yes.
it should be liked by everybody.
When we get Zach on the show, you two need to gush about Breakfast Club and just John Hughes in general, because I've never been a massive fan of his. I've liked 2 John Hughes movies, 3 counting Breakfast Club. The rest I've been kind of lukewarm on, and those would be Ferris Bueller, Uncle Buck.
Never seen that one.
And
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club, yeah.
Yep.
And Uncle Buck, I'm sure, isn't as good as I remember it being. I just loved it as a kid because John Candy, he has a drill.
Okay.
Anyway.
Now let me tell you why it's good.
Yes, yes.
You got these kids. They're in detention. What's your favorite movie of the week?
Well, it's Breakfast Club. No, that's.
I
not
just
what
gave you a
had.
brief description. Seriously, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a classic.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
There's not much.
There's
to
not
the
a whole
plot.
lot to say, but
Because
it's just
it's kids in detention getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And that doesn't sound as amazing as it actually is, but it's just great.
the relationships and experiences they end up telling and forming. They're
And it's
incredible.
kind of a comedy, kind of a drama. It has some pretty emotional moments.
Very 80s.
Very 80s. Very, very 80s.
Very 80s.
And it's, yeah, probably the best John Hughes movie. Pretty close with Ferris Bueller.
Remember Maximum Overdrive?
No.
The guy in that is in Breakfast Club.
Good.
Remember 16 Candles? The girl in that is in Breakfast Club.
And that was also John Hughes.
Do you remember Weird Science?
No, I've never seen Weird Science.
There's a kid in that that's also in Breakfast Club.
I've seen none of those three movies.
Have you seen I don't know what have the other two kids men in?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Go watch a
I
bunch
don't
of
remember
movies.
any of them except for. I mean, like the only actor's name I can think of who was in that was Emilio Estevez. Other than I don't remember their actor names. Emilio Estevez was like the rich kid.
Oh, okay, the redhead.
No, no, maybe he wasn't the rich kid. No, he was the sports kid.
Sorry, did I say redhead? I thought you were talking about the redhead girl.
Or what?
Yeah, no, you got it right. Emilio Estevez. He's in Maximum Overdrive.
Right, that guy.
Yes.
Was he the rich kid? I haven't seen the movie. In a while.
Jock.
He was the jock.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
The rich princess is the girl from 16
right,
Candles.
right. The jock who didn't get along with his dad, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Always tell me you gotta be better. Go watch it. It's
he
really
has
good.
he has one of the best rants in the whole movie. I think.
Oh, and one of the best dances where he gets high, bounces around, goes
Yeah.
back in the room, slams the door, screams at it, and the door shatters. Anyway, go watch it.
That's it. Yeah. So we're just gonna. Usually, I use my movie of the week to shift into our topic, but my movie of the week today has nothing to do with our topic.
The movie of the week isn't.
Breakfast Club? No, believe it or not.
I was just gonna spoil the movie we were gonna talk about, but I don't want to do that.
No.
Let's let the
our,
big finish.
Our movie of I think everybody knows what it's gonna be.
They don't know.
My movie of the week is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. For some reason I couldn't remember the name of it.
That's a really good one.
That's an interesting choice.
I
Right?
would have picked that eventually.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good movie.
The reason I picked Perks of Being a Wallflower is because I was having a discussion about how I don't like teen movies, and that's a very prevalent thing about me. Actually, it's interesting that you picked Breakfast Club because there are two teen movies that I've actually liked despite them being typical teen movies.
And that's Breakfast Clubs and Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yes, and also I think non-Hughes teen movies, like he does good teen movies like Ferris Bueller and Breakfast Club. Those are good, but like modern teen
What
movies
about Harry
like
Potter?
no, I don't like the Harry Potter
What about
movies.
Harry Potter 2?
I don't like any of the Harry Potter
What about
movies.
Harry Potter 4?
They're okay, but like I have
Goblet of Fire.
I have the fair. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean by like teen movies. Like an example is me and Earl and the Dying Girl. Everybody loved that one, and I
haven't
saw
seen
it,
it.
and I did not care for it because all the teen dialogue is so irritating that I could not bear it. And
Bye.
yeah, that kind of thing. Well, not like that kind of thing, but it's just
I
like
hate that so much.
yeah.
I really do. I really hate that.
But
Not the movie.
What was I trying to
I haven't
say?
seen the movie, but that
you got me off my train of
voice.
thought.
I'm so sorry.
How dare you?
Teen
Yeah,
movies, the dialogue was terrible. Like, bye.
yeah. Basically,
Oh my gosh.
Perks of Being a Wallflower. It has that like smarmy teen attitude that I don't like, but it's actually good. It's one of the few that's actually transcended being like kind of an annoying teen movie into being a good movie about fitting in and like mental health mental illness.
Definitely.
Um,
Well, and being, LGBT plus.
yes, it has good messages about that too, and
Well, and bad messages.
and
as well,
depressing messages. It's a very depressing movie.
It's very sad.
Maybe the fact that I didn't mind the smarmy teen dialogue is that all these teens are just dying inside.
Maybe.
They're like having such a rough time with life.
it is.
I was like, okay, I kind of feel for if it's like a bunch of teens being super happy and they're like, oh my gosh, we're a bunch of cool teens.
I mean, I guess
that
that's
always,
the same with Breakfast Club, too.
yeah, no, but in Breakfast Club,
Dang.
it's somehow not irritating. I don't know, like.
No, I'm just
No,
talking
no,
about
no.
like
Actually,
the really
yeah, no.
depressing...
Now that I think about it, Breakfast Club, it's a bunch of like average teens who are like working through issues.
Yeah.
In Ferris Bueller, it's
Fair
I'm a teen, I'm having fun, but it's like there's also like some issues later on. So anyway,
And Charlie Sheen's in it.
Perks of Being a Wall. He is. That's like one of his first. That's like one of his first film roles.
He
I think.
is.
Yes. He's the guy in the police station who just picks up Ferris's daughter, not daughter, sister.
Hey, baby, you're like 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So Perks of Being a Wallflower. It's really great, actually. Ezra Miller, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's fantastic.
No, it's Emma Watson.
She's pretty good in it too. She has a
she's
she has
very
a
good.
pretty unconvincing American accent, but other than that, she's pretty good. Ezra Miller, the gay guy, he's very good in it.
He is,
I liked
yeah.
him a lot, and now he's playing Flash.
Yeah, and he was also in the Harry Potter spin-off, Fantastic
Finding
Space
Nemo.
and Where to Find.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find.
Yes. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find.
Oh, which I never watched and never will.
That's okay.
Yeah.
He was in it. He was a really sad teen.
Yeah,
Surprise, surprise.
he's good at that. So.
He is. He really is. And now he's going to be a fast teen. I wonder how that transition is going to go.
Yeah. He's now a fast, goofy teen. I wonder. Yeah.
He has the face of a sad teen, though.
Yeah, he does. He looks like people picked on him in high school and he hasn't, like, gotten over it.
I mean, I guess that's kind of the Flash, though. He's kind of this dorky...
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
But he's a good actor, and I've liked him in pretty much everything I've seen him in. So, yeah. And speaking of Flash, let's talk about some Marvel movies.
I hate you. I hate you so very much.
Flash.
All right, the next big
Yeah.
movie that we saw that just came out, it was Spider-Man: Homecoming. What did you
Yes.
think?
We'll get to that. Okay, here's what we're gonna do today.
You like the Avengers?
I do.
You like the Adventurers?
Yes.
Do you like the Revengers?
Yes. Here's what we're gonna do today. Okay,
What are you
this
doing right
This is interesting.
What are you looking at? Oh, you're looking at
A timeline.
a time.
We're gonna go through the entire Avengers MCU
We don't
series.
have time.
No. We can. Hold on. No, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Yes, we have time.
What time is it?
It's 2:00. What do you have
It's
to be
5
somewhere?
o'clock on a Saturday.
We have time. We can do this.
Okay.
We'll
Hit
just
it. Let's
keep it
go.
brief. All right.
Run us. Shit. Run us down.
I have to find a list.
Made a mistake.
Yes. Hold on. Okay.
Once
Okay,
upon a time,
okay,
there was a
okay.
movie called The Incredible Hulk.
Okay, we're good.
It was
So-
bad.
Okay. Here's how it's gonna go down. We're gonna run through the whole MCU, starting with Captain America, the first. No. This
No.
is chronological.
That's
we're
phase 1.
we're doing chronological anyway. Okay.
That's not the. Okay.
Yeah. No. That's phase 2 as well. In all
No.
the phases.
I'm talking about. It starts off with Edward Norton, though, right? Being in the Incredible Hulk, and that bombed, and that did terribly. And then what kicked it all off was Iron Man.
Well, this is chronological based on story, not based on release date. Do you want? Let's just do
Is
that.
Iron Man 1 in here?
Yeah.
Oh,
let's just
how about
do that. It says all of them. It's just they're in
Sure.
chronological.
Let's do it.
All right.
okay
So
with
this
it.
is not based on release date. It's based on chronological order. So
All right.
of course the first one is the first Avenger because that takes place during World War II.
That's the first one.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it takes place during World War II.
I thought Guardians of the Galaxy was the first one.
Yes.
I mean, it very well could be, for all we know.
No, because
Why not?
Because it takes place in the distant future,
Who says they can't be time capsule?
or like the current. I don't know when they take place. It's like in the future, I guess.
Well, I guess we'll
don't know.
find out.
Yes. All right. We'll see. So, real quick, your opinions on the first Avenger.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
I liked it better than Winter Soldier.
Me too.
All right.
And that's probably a controversial opinion among some. I liked it because it was really cheesy, kind of campy.
I like Red Skull.
Red Skull
thought it
was
was funny.
Hugo Weaving, and it was
Dude, Hugo Weaving in Wild Wild West is my favorite.
okay. This is all gonna end in Thor Ragnarok, of course, and because we just saw Thor Ragnarok, and
Hugo Weaving was also in The Matrix.
yes, was he also in My Chemical Romance, perchance?
No, he wasn't, but let me tell you something about My Chemical Romance.
Welcome to the Black Parade.
Bye.
Okay, so
We're cutting it there.
Captain, yeah. Let's not get off track here.
I'm sorry.
Captain America: The First Avenger. I liked it more than the sequel because, and a lot of people will disagree with me here. I think Marvel movies that take themselves too seriously, like the sequel, a lot of people praise it for that. But I feel like Marvel should be as cheesy as possible. That's my stance on it.
I think they should be more
Because-
comic book-esque.
Yes, and Marvel and the First Avenger felt very comic
So there
book-esque.
can certainly be serious moments,
Yes.
but the whole movie shouldn't be this, like... I mean, depending on the comic you're going off of, yada, yada, yada. Like, it should be fun. It should be adventurous. It should have one-liners. Like, that's
Yeah,
what
right.
comic books do. I
Yeah.
think that's what they should be.
And I think of the whole Marvel series, the First Avenger nailed that comic book aesthetic.
Especially, like, the World War II
Yes.
stuff. I think it
Yeah.
did very good.
I actually like that one despite the fact that everybody hates it. Now let's move on to Iron Man, which is, okay, confession, I haven't seen Iron Man in its entirety.
You haven't seen the first Iron Man in its entirety?
Nope.
Really?
It's like one of the only MCU movies I actually haven't seen yet.
Really?
Yeah, I have seen Iron Man 2,
Really?
and it wasn't good.
That one's
Yeah.
AC/DC.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it. AC/DC.
A lot of people say Iron Man's the best in the series. What do you think?
I disagree, but you know
Okay.
what? It's a good movie.
Yes, I hear that too. I can't really talk about it because I haven't seen it in
Fair
its
enough.
entirety.
Iron Man 2 was sad.
Iron Man 2 was...
Moving on, The Incredible Hulk was sad.
Iron Man 2, I want to say real quick about it. When you have a finale with a bunch of robots, there's no stakes. And that was
No.
like that was the beginning of Marvel doing that thing where it's like more action with non-human enemies where it's just...
Where you can be as brutal as you want.
Yes, and it's like there's no stakes to it, you know. I mean, they did that. They didn't really do that in the First Avenger. People get murdered in the First Avenger.
That's
Like
very
a lot of
true.
people die. Like a lot of people die horribly in the First Avenger. Iron Man 2, bunch of robots, and there's no stakes to anything. And there's this
They
end of
shoot a laser.
there's this end of a fight scene where like they're surrounded by robots. This is a spoiler, but who cares? They're surrounded by robots, and Black Iron Man says to Iron Man, "Press that button." And they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And he's like, "Oh no!" Iron Man's like, "Wait, I got this." And he just like activates 2 lasers on his wrist, and he spins around, and he kills all of them. And it's like, okay, fight over.
Yep.
And
It's really sad.
yeah, it sucks. It's really not good. The Incredible Hulk. Actually, this is the other one I haven't
Edward
seen.
Norton, huge flop.
Yeah. Nobody's seen.
I saw
Hulk. Yeah. Okay. What'd you think?
It wasn't it's worth a watch when you're a kid.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
you'd end up not caring later on. And we're not doing the TV series, by the way.
No, we're just doing movies.
because I haven't seen any of them.
Yes, me neither. Thor, number 10.
I liked Thor.
One of my least favorites, so we disagree on
Yes,
this.
I actually really liked the first Thor. I
Okay.
thought it was really cool seeing Thor on Earth being this like arrogant god person who doesn't know anything.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. Yeah, I'll agree with you
And as
there.
far as the combat go, I was okay with it.
I didn't like the big laser-faced dudes.
No,
That was where the
Okay.
movie just kind of lost me. But
fair enough.
And everything in Thor feels like cheap. It feels like there wasn't really a solid budget behind it. most things in it,
Fair enough.
I didn't like Chris Hemsworth as a character, and that's what
See-
spawned the fact that Thor is one of my least favorite Avengers, or was. But
Hey,
we'll get to that later.
Oh boy, that was foreshadowing. If
yes.
you don't know what that is.
And so yeah,
I like Thor.
yep. I will say Thor better than Iron Man 2, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Avengers Assemble, I actually don't know what that is. Probably an animated movie.
let's
just
move on.
let's just skip over it.
Iron
Alright,
Man 3.
We're into phase 2. Oh wait.
Oh shoot.
Avengers. We have to do Avengers.
Oh yeah. So that's what that is.
that's probably what
Avengers
that is.
Assemble. Well, why do they have it called that?
I don't know.
That's dumb. Avengers. What did you think?
Really good. Actually,
it was
that's
good.
one of my favorites in the series. Because it's something that like was so new. The fact that we had all these characters and all these Marvel movies all teaming up in one movie, that's like we hadn't really seen that before.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
It's such a cool climax for a cinematic universe.
But okay, as far as the movies go, I think this is more of a Pacific Rim for me though, where it's like my inner child is very impressed
Yes.
and my outer me is like, eh.
Yeah, I agree. That goes with a lot of Marvel movies, though.
It's very true.
They're just fun, nostalgic, and don't really hold up beyond that.
Yeah, it's true.
And yeah, that's the case with the Avengers. But the Avengers is
But it
fun.
really
It
did a
had
good job playing with your kid.
It's-
inside. Oh boy.
it did a
What am
good
I
job playing with your kid.
What am I
What?
saying?
What? What? What is that supposed to mean?
Oh no, what have I done?
Moving on. Avengers, pretty good.
Your inner child, man. Your inner child.
Iron Man 3, also pretty good.
I
A lot
enjoyed
of
it.
people hated it. I actually hated it when I first saw it, but I've come around on it because there's a specific twist in it that I really didn't like, but as I've grown up and like matured as a movie
Okay.
viewer, I've realized that the fact that they had a twist that I didn't see coming is something that more Marvel movies need to do.
Yes.
The thing about Iron Man 3 is the director and writer were more concerned about making it surprising and interesting and different.
The biggest problem is that now that the twist, I'm not gonna say what it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's recent
But
enough.
but it
that,
closes
yeah.
off trails that they could have gone that people would have really liked to see.
Yeah,
which
those are trails that have just been like retelling of comic book stories, and since this is a cinematic universe,
I understand.
I'm of the opinion that they can go a different way with it.
I agree. So I mean, I'm not all that upset. Like,
Yes.
sure, at the time I was like, really, you decided to do that, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. And I really like the MacGyver aspect of that movie.
Oh yeah, actually,
without his suit.
the two things that I didn't like back when I first saw it when it came out are the two things that I've now realized are the biggest strengths of the movie. The fact that we get Tony Stark, not Iron Man, in that movie. Like, there's some Iron Man shenanigans like near the end, but like, as a kid, I was like, oh, that's lame. There's no Iron Man in it. But it's like you get to know Tony Stark as a character, and you get to see what he does without his suit, and it's actually pretty good.
It was really
And
impressive.
Yeah.
When I sat
So-
through that movie, I was like, wow, that's cool.
Iron Man 3, pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best of Phase 2. Let's
One of
move
my
on to...
least favorite enemies, though, in total.
Oh, yeah. No, the enemy, like the ultimate enemy of the movie was kind of lame.
Yeah.
But,
In the
whatever.
end.
Thor the Dark World, I hated it. Let's not talk about
I
it.
haven't seen it in its
It's
entirety
so
for good reason.
Forgettable. So I don't remember a single thing that happens in the movie. There was elves, I think. But it's
There
just...
were elves. I looked that up later.
It's just
There were
so
elves.
is Dark Elves, and there's so little interesting plot that happens in it, and the Earth segments felt forced, and everything is so uninteresting. I was like checking out in the movie theater because I just didn't care. And it's the first movie that made me realize that this Marvel series that's going on, it's losing a little bit of steam. That's the first movie where I started to think that.
Fair enough.
And the Winter Soldier, again, that was the next
Didn't
one
help
in the
the
series.
cause all
It didn't
that
help
much.
because I will say Winter Soldier much better than the Dark World because
It was actually a palatable movie.
yes, because it was made well, but it had the same problem as the Dark World because I don't remember anything that happens in Winter Soldier because none of it made an impression on me. It
Yeah.
was so
Hail Hydra.
generic. Hail Hydra, that meme, that's the only thing that came out of it for me.
Yep.
Every time I saw someone on the street and they waved at me, I'd be Hail Hydra. And
Well, and like Bucky, but
Bucky, right, the Vampire Slayer. And
that was a pretty good joke.
I was hoping you just wouldn't mention it and we just keep going.
Well, like, I didn't want to laugh at it, but, like, I realized halfway through, like, we were going to go on. I'm like, you know what? That deserves, like, acknowledgement.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
decent.
Okay, I didn't realize these two were in the same phase, but I guess we can talk about them in tandem. Guardians of the Galaxy, one that reinvigorated my interest in Marvel movies because it's pretty good.
Dude, Guardians of the Galaxy, that opening scene, ooga chaka, with him flying into the caverns and doing his, like, researchy stuff. As soon as Ooga Chaka started playing and Princess Sweet as Candy, I was like, ooh, yeah, I can get into this. And I did, and I loved it. I loved that movie. It was by far my favorite movie.
Was it that song during the opening scene?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought it was a different song, but okay. Well, I'll take your word for it.
I want to look it up now just so
Right.
I don't sound dumb.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy, probably, it's one of my favorite Avengers movies. I had issues with it. I think the tone, like, conflicted with itself a lot. There was a lot of humorous scenes, a lot of serious scenes, and they blended in a way that felt really jarring. But all in all, I liked the humorous element of it. It was, at that point, it was the most humorous Marvel movie, and I liked that. Like I said, Marvel movies need to be a little more lighthearted in my mind, and that really did it for me. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I didn't like it at all, because it had funny moments, and it had some okay serious moments, but, like, how I said, they clashed in the first movie. They clashed way harder in Volume 2, and I couldn't get attached to anything in Volume 2. There was some fun action sequences that I remember, I'll give it that. But all in all, it was just such a disjointed mess of a movie, so I didn't like it.
Oh, I was wrong.
What song is it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was. All right, okay.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I'm so sad. Although, that is a good jam, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, as soon as that played, I was
I think
down.
the reason you thought that is because that was the song they used in the trailer. The
Oh,
ooga, ooga.
probably.
And that's what made everybody interested, because they're like, what is this trailer? Yeah.
Taste is on my mind.
And then we're not going to talk about them because we haven't seen them, but in Phase 2, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage happened.
Cup of wine.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to say that again. In a Phase 2, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage happened, but we're not going to talk about that because
Guardians
we haven't
2
seen them.
was meh.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about it.
Yeah.
Just
I agree.
I wasn't a fan, really.
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron also wasn't a fan.
All right.
But Age of Ultron came out before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The problem with this being chronological in terms of story is we can't talk about it in terms of how they came out. But
Well, and
Age of Ultron, not very good, actually. One of my least favorites, if to be honest. When I came out of it, a lot of times when I come out of a Marvel movie, I feel like the action scenes are fresh on my mind and the fun character interactions are fresh on my mind.
it's not memorable.
I'm like, it was pretty good. And then when I think back on it a week later, I'm like, it wasn't that good.
It wasn't memorable for me.
Even Age of Ultron, I walked out of it and I was like, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Even the magic was lost on me because I was just like, it's so boring.
Yeah, it wasn't memorable for me. I
Yeah.
can't remember really anything in that movie except for robot evil man
Not very.
army.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Luke Cage,
Ant-Man.
I think we've
talked about it a little
me
bit.
and Josh have gone on a 2-hour discussion about Ant-Man before.
I
And
really like Ant-Man.
the base of it is I'm disappointed in what it is.
I
but
also think you're biased.
I am very biased. Look, I'm not a professional film critic, I am very
you very
biased
well
about
could be.
Ant-Man. I suppose I could be, but Ant-Man, if you don't know, yes. If you don't know, Ant-Man was supposed to be directed by Edgar Wright, who is one of my favorite directors
Who we've talked about.
behind Wes Anderson. And he got removed from the project, or he left the project
Due to creative
differences, which means he wanted to make an Edgar Wright movie, and Marvel's like,
We want
We-
Ant-Man
we
in the
want-
style of Marvel
we
movies.
want MCU movie. We want it to mesh with everything else in the MCU, and he wanted to probably wanted to make a quirky Edgar Wright movie, and they're like, no. I respect him because he saw that he wasn't going to have creative control over this project. Like, they would take his vision and gut it to fit with the aesthetic of the rest of the series, and he just left. He didn't take the money. He just left, you know? Mm-hmm. And, well, maybe he got a little money, but he didn't see it through because he was like, you know what? If I can't have complete creative control over this, I'm gone. And all of this is speculation, of course. All we heard about it was creative differences, but I'm assuming that's absolutely what happened.
Probably.
So,
Now, taking him out of the picture and that knowledge out of the picture, I still liked Ant-Man as a movie.
I'd have to concede that it was okay. I didn't hate it.
I think it was one of the funniest ones.
As I was sitting in the movie theater, it was funny. There was definitely some remnants of a little bit of
You could feel him in
Edgar
there.
Wright quirk
You
in
could
there.
feel him writhing around.
Yeah, but it just felt soulless, you know? Like, it felt like
Once again, I think this is your bias.
it is. Well, I don't know. I don't even know like if it's correct bias, because it's so much more bland and generic than it would have been if Edgar Wright. I think.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure, but knowing him as a director, I think Ant-Man turned out a lot more generic than it would have if he would have stayed on. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the thing with, Marvel is it's a cinematic universe. The idea that everything should feel like it takes place in the same universe is fine. I just wish they would have let Edgar Wright have his way with it, because it would have made a much more entertaining movie.
Sure.
Ant-Man is
Maybe.
funny. It has some memorable sequences, like when they're shrunk and fighting.
Yeah.
In like the kids'
The
room.
train.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that feels like something that would happen in an Edgar Wright movie. I feel like that's kind of like a remnant of an Edgar Wright-ism. But
Yeah.
all in all, kind of a disappointment for me. You'd probably like it if you're a fan of Marvel movies, but it could have been better, and I'm still bitter about that, basically.
enough.
And we'll move on to Phase 3, because this is post Age of Ultron Phase 3 movies.
Once again, Iron Fist is thrown in there.
Yes, Iron Fist, but we're going to talk about Captain America Civil War.
What'd you think about Civil War?
I really liked Civil War, except for the only part of Civil War that I was actually looking forward to. It was flip-flopped. Everything in Civil War, like all the tensions between the team,
Age of Ultron was the one where they were in Yugoslavia or whatever.
the city they raised out of the ground.
Oh!
Were you
I remember
thinking?
now.
Were you thinking of Civil War when I was talking about Age of Ultron?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just couldn't remember what Age of Ultron was about.
Yeah, well, that's because Age of Ultron's boring.
It was. Anyway.
I feel like I've
Civil
said
War.
boring a lot for this, but it's true, because there's a lot of Marvel movies that are just pointless. Captain America Civil War, one of my favorites, actually, up there with Guardians of the Galaxy. The point where they all fight felt so... That was not great. It was all about tension.
It was good action, but it just didn't feel right
Yeah,
in
right.
the end.
The setting. I just had issues with the setting.
Like an airport?
Like an airport in broad daylight just didn't really feel like
very
thrilling,
weird. It was very
just
weird.
So, I don't know. But anyway, the fight, the clash, the civil war, if you will, between the superheroes, super brief, felt really out of place, and it's resolved immediately. Like, it was just spectacle and nonsense for the sake of spectacle and nonsense. The actual interesting part of the movie was the tensions rising between the two sides.
Yeah.
And that stuff was
Definitely.
handled great. And
Well, yeah, and then people picking sides was kind of
yes,
cool.
yes, exactly. Like you have, and the fact is, like when I went in, I thought I was on one side for sure, and then as the movie went on, I was kind of leaning more towards the other side. I thought I was going to be like on Tony's side, and then as the movie went on, I was like, Captain America's got a point.
They both kind of have their own points,
And,
and they're all right, but yeah.
And there's a very good scene between the two of them at the end of the movie. I wish there were more stakes to it. Okay, like, minor spoilers here. Just, like, skip, like, a minute ahead, because I'm just going to talk about this briefly. I wish Captain would have killed Tony. That's what I wish would have happened.
That's
Because
you're asking too much.
Yes, that's absolutely asking too much, because Marvel's not going to kill off a main character like that.
I would have just been happy if they would have killed War Machine.
Yeah, that too. When War
If he
Machine
would've just died,
got
I'd be like,
shot out
okay.
of the sky, and I was like, wow, there are actually, like, there's, like, a repercussion. Because that's a thing that we haven't really had in this series. Like,
Quicksilver doesn't count.
Quicksilver dying, he was introduced in that movie, and he died in that movie, and he
nobody
wasn't
cared.
a good character, so whatever, that
Yeah.
doesn't count. He was introduced as cannon fodder. What I would be more impressed by is if they kill off, like, War Machine, a character who's been in several movies, and you don't expect to die. And it looked like they were going to do that. It looked like War Machine,
nope.
when he gets blasted out of the sky, I was like, wow, is War Machine going to die? Like, and he's on the ground, and there's, like, blood on his face, and I was like, wow, awesome. And then, no, he's fine.
Yep.
And then there's this confrontation between Captain America and Iron Man, where it's like, it almost looked like Iron Man was just going to straight up murder Tony. And it really seemed like that's the way it
Iron
was
Man
going.
was going to straight up
No,
murder
Captain
Tony.
America was going to straight up murder Tony, and that's
I gotcha.
that seemed the way it was going. But
With just the...
yeah, right. And he's
It's
like
very cool.
bashing on him with his shield, and
Yeah.
he's like breaking the armor, and I was like, this is gonna end. Somebody's gonna die. I was really thinking how crazy would it be if the series has to go on from there, knowing that Steve was his name, right? Like Captain Steve killed Tony, and there's like a new Iron Man, but like they have to work as a team, but they know that there's a fight among them so strong that Steve killed Tony. That would be such a great
would be really
character building moment. And I wanted that, even though I love Tony as a character and I don't really like Steve as a character. The fact that I wanted that to happen, because I thought that would have been an interesting thing for the path for the story to take.
I agree.
But of course they didn't do that.
Of course not.
So
They haven't killed a
Yeah.
character.
yeah.
Ever. Until now.
Except, okay, and this isn't even, okay, let's finish this up with our last two before we get to the one that we really want to talk about. Doctor Strange.
I love Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange,
I was very surprised.
the story and the characters are flawed,
Sure.
but the visuals, it has the coolest visual effects of any movie in the MCU,
Yeah.
I think.
And just...
Actually, any movie pretty close with Thor Ragnarok, because there's some really
Hey
good-
now.
There's some really cool visuals in that movie too.
We
But-
haven't seen that. Shit.
But Doctor Strange,
Oh, I
great
love Doctor
visuals,
Strange.
great action sequences.
Benedict was fantastic.
Benedict's pretty good in it.
I liked him a
Tilda
lot.
Swinton's pretty good in it.
Yeah.
The whole
Mads.
idea between
I like Mads.
Yeah,
He's
Maz.
good.
Maz was pretty good. It's Maz, not
I don't
Mads.
care.
Yeah, but it just
Mikkelsen.
yeah, Maz Mikkelsen, and
Mads Mikkelsen.
everybody calls him Mads Mikkelsen. So, but yeah,
That's how
anyway,
it's spelt.
it
This is America.
it has a really cool finale. A lot of cool stuff happens in it. It's not super memorable because the story and characters aren't super memorable.
I don't know.
But there's
I remember it because I'm a big fan.
Yes, I like Doctor Strange too. I used to like him as a kid, but this movie was the most
Don't you remember Dormammu?
the what
Dormammu.
umami.
No, Dormammu.
I don't.
He's
know
the
who that
villain
is.
of Doctor
Oh,
Strange. That's
okay.
not Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I don't even remember.
All right.
I barely. I know he has a.
That
cool
was like
scene
the
near
coolest
end.
part in the end.
Yes, that is a cool scene near the end, but like he's not really in the movie besides that. I think.
Yeah, no, but he's like the... Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, no.
Dormammu. He's cool. I like that part.
I've come to bargain. Or
It was so cool, man. Anyway,
No, that's a sweet sequence, I have to say.
it was so cool.
And
I was a big fan.
It was a fun movie. Not like one of the best not one of the objectively best movies in the
No, but it
series,
would
but
be
it
up there
was
for me.
fun. It was super fun.
Yeah, it would
and
definitely be
I
up
really
there.
liked it. Spider-Man: Homecoming, I loved it when I saw it, and I still do love it in the sense that it did Spider-Man right.
Are you coming down from your high from
I'm
liking Spider-Man
a little
for once?
bit because I loved it because it was like Spider-Man done right, and
Yeah.
I really love Spider-Man as a character, and I was like, this Spider-Man is great, and this is like probably the best Spider-Man movie I've seen,
I agree.
even counting the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just okay. I think it also suffers from like I barely remember it because all these Marvel movies, it could be just a problem with me. All these Marvel movies, they just the only few that I like actually remember are the ones that I like, and Spider-Man: Homecoming, I feel like it's just gonna. I barely remember anything about it. I just remember that there was a lot of good Spider-Man moments, and it was well done. It's just I need to see it again. I don't know. What did you think about it?
I really like Spider-Man. I didn't gush over it instantaneously.
Yeah.
Like, I liked it. I thought it was very good. By far the best Spider-Man that's come out. But I think it could have been better.
Probably, yeah.
The villain, very good. The new Spider-Man's amazing. I really like him.
Yes.
But as far as like the story goes, I think it could have been better.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's same complaint I have for all Marvel movies. It's just, like kind of lacking a little special something.
Yeah.
But
you know what? I liked it enough to be
really
excited
liked it, yeah.
about seeing him more.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I want to see him more. And that's like...
You know what? I like Spider-Man on par with what I liked Thor.
Okay.
What I liked about Thor is it was enough that made me like the character and make me want to see more.
Yeah.
Sure, there's problems with the story, but I want more.
Okay.
That's where I sit.
Thor Ragnarok?
We haven't seen it.
No, we just saw
Crap.
it. Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok. It's the big one. It's the big boy. It's the one that we've been waiting to talk about.
Here's the thing about Thor Ragnarok, and now we're finally on our final subject because we just saw this literally like less than a week ago. And
What, 4 days?
I loved it.
3 days? 4
And
days?
here's why. Yes, it had the same issues that all these Marvel movies have. Like a lot of the action is like whatever. And a lot of the story stuff is like whatever. But it is the cheesiest, campiest, most hilarious Marvel movie in the entire series. It is so much fun. I had a huge grin on my face throughout like at least half of it. It had a cool villain, a likable, cool villain. I actually almost wanted to root for the villain because she's so cool. And everything is just the kind of stuff I liked about superhero movies in my childhood. Like you were talking about.
It played with your kid.
It played with my kid. You can put that on the box. You can put that quote in the box. Thor Ragnarok really played with my kid. I'm speechless. I'm sure that there's this action sequence near the end that takes place on the bridge.
I
that
freaking love him.
That is really cool. If you watch that, if you haven't seen this movie yet and you like go to see it,
don't pay attention to what he's saying right now. Just enjoy it. Seriously, don't. No. Watch it a second time and do what he says. But the first time, just enjoy the movie for what it is. It's so good.
I have to talk about what I
You
didn't
can
like
talk about it, but just keep in mind that.
All right.
Don't think
All
about
right.
this while you're watching it. Just enjoy.
Okay.
Just enjoy.
Just ignore.
Let people like it.
Ignore
okay?
a flaw in the movie. Yeah, just go ahead and ignore a flaw.
For the first time, please do. Please.
Okay, all right. Well, I want to talk about it regardless.
Go ahead.
If you watch this movie, I want you to notice the just here. I tell you what. I won't say anything negative about it. I'll just say, pay attention to the continuity of the bridge action sequence and how little sense it makes. So I will say something negative about it. I don't actually. I'm not one like continuity doesn't really make a difference to me. I usually don't even notice it, but the continuity of that sequence is so mind-bogglingly awful that it took me out of the movie. What was happening was fun. I don't mean like shot for shot like continuity. I mean like there are two armies and a big dog on the bridge, and the positioning of them changes every shot. Sometimes one of the armies isn't there. Sometimes the dog's not there. Sometimes the dog is in front of the army, and sometimes the dog's behind the army. Sometimes the armies are fighting one shot, and then sometimes the other army's not there in the next shot.
See, what I think you're getting confused is I think there's actually 4 armies on the bridge.
No, there was the undead
there's
army.
4
There's the
armies.
undead army and the other army, and then the dog.
Now let me tell you where I'm seeing it.
Okay.
What I saw is there's an unknown army on this side of the bridge,
Okay.
and then there is the people, like the civilians, right?
Yeah.
And then they start like running back, right?
Yeah.
And the dog's on this end.
Yes.
And then on the other side, there's also the undead army coming towards them. And then the heroes get put in between the civilians and the undead army over here.
Okay, but that doesn't excuse the fact that there's this one shot where you see the undead
No,
army.
I completely agree.
You see the undead army, then the dog's behind it, and then you see a close-up of the dog running towards the people, and then he's in front of the undead army. Like, how did he do that?
No,
he didn't go around them.
I understand.
Yeah. But it's confusing.
Sure.
Makes little sense.
Sure.
There's a shot where they're fighting, and then in the next shot, it's a long shot of them where they're fighting, and the army's just not there. The other army's just not there.
Yeah.
You may be right about the fact that there's 2 armies coming at them from either side, which may excuse some of the things I noticed, but the point is that sequence is so confusingly shot.
Sure.
There's some really cool action sequences in
I
it.
shit my pants. It was so good, man.
Do you
I couldn't even I was just sitting there like, yes.
I don't want to spoil. Let's not spoil it, but there's Thor does a thing, and it's so cool, and I loved it. It made me forget about all the
I
comedy
was
stuff.
having so much fun. Thor comes in, he wrecks
Yeah.
house. Hulk wrecks house.
Yes.
Valkyrie, whatever. I mean,
Yeah, Valkyrie's a cool character, or
Cool.
like whatever her name is, but she's like a Valkyrie is
Yeah.
one of the cooler characters in the movie, I think.
she's cool.
All the characters are nice. Like all the characters
Mm-hmm.
are likable, well written. I loved all of them. Well, I say well written, but I just read a statistic that a lot of the dialogue was improvised, which actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you said like
thinking back on it.
80%.
80% of the dialogue was improvised.
Which is crazy.
80% of the banter among Thor and Hulk and the Valkyrie girl, a lot of that was improvised. And that makes sense because it felt really natural
It
and
was
free
really
flowing.
good.
And it's hilarious. Taika Waititi did this movie. and-
Master of awkward comedy.
Yes,
So
and if you
good.
love just like really awkward. Oh wow, it was hilarious, and
was
he
so
he
good.
himself plays a character in the movie, and Jeff Goldblum is in the movie.
Oh, it's so good.
I think all the good parts of the movie happen at the Coliseum. The Hela subplot was cool because Hela's a cool villain, but it
I
felt really
disagree.
disjointed.
From
I think.
literally step one, I was smiling and laughing and enjoying
Yes.
the movie. From step one to the very end.
I agree with you. The movie has a humorous tone throughout the whole thing, and it was enjoyable, but the bulk of the hilarity happens at the Coliseum. Would you agree? Because that's when
I
it
mean,
started
well, that's-
getting just like,
Sure. I mean, that's the bulk of the movie.
yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. But it's just that's when it starts getting really funny when
When
Thor
and Hulk
Thor's
finally get there.
Thor and Hulk and Jeff Goldblum enter the picture. That's when the comedy really takes off, and it becomes.
I don't know. It had a really good running start though from that intro scene,
I suppose, yeah.
which we're not going to spoil, but
Yeah.
it's good.
The whole movie's.
As soon as the intro played, you
Yeah.
know, everybody in the theater was laughing.
Yeah.
From minute like 1. Oh, it was
I do
really good.
I do kind of agree with Josh I'm not one to say like to tell people to ignore the flaws of a movie usually, but
don't ignore it.
What I'm gonna say here is, if you just take this movie for what it is, and that's dumb fun, it's a great time. If you're hearing all these good reviews about it, and you're gonna go into it be like, this is gonna be a cinematic masterpiece, you're gonna be very disappointed.
Go in thinking it's a Marvel movie, because
Yes.
that's what it is.
For a Marvel movie, it's incredibly entertaining, and I had a great time with
Be
it. And it's
entertained.
one of my favorite Marvel movies. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's one of my favorite.
Oh, it's my favorite.
And Thor as a character,
It's my favorite.
yeah. I guess I can't disagree with you there. Thor as a character, I don't like Thor as a character in any of the movies he's been in. I just thought he was just not.
He didn't really have a
likable.
part in any of the Avengers
Yeah.
movies that I cared about.
Yes, right.
Thor 1,
He's just kind
I
of
enjoyed
there.
him.
Yeah.
Thor 2, like I said,
But
haven't seen all the way.
they sort of reinvented him as a character in Ragnarok. He's a completely different character now. He's a really like lighthearted, wisecracking, like fun guy.
And people are talking about that because of this movie, Thor is now like comic book people are saying that I think it's called Rune God Thor or like Old Man Thor, and I don't exactly know what those entail or where those would lead, especially in the MCU. I don't think it's going to.
Yeah.
But as far as his attitude changes, like he's no longer, just this dumb idiot. He's now a ruler of Asgard.
Yeah, sort of. And it's a trade-off of he now actually has a important position, but he's less stoic now. He actually has a sense of humor now, which is nice, because I thought he was just stoic and boring in the other movies, and now he's great.
Yeah, he definitely has his own personality, that's for sure.
My only complaint about it is... Oh, I bumped the table. My only complaint about his persona is it's a likable persona, but he's kind of just doing the Tony Stark thing, and there's like it's gonna be. I feel like the series might be starting to become oversaturated with like smarmy, sarcastic people.
And that's what I think is going to change in the next movie. With no spoilers, but with how this ends, I think he is going to be a more interesting but refined character. You know what I mean?
Yes, sure. And he's going to be
He's
funny,
going to be able
I
to
guess.
take responsibility. Is kind of where I'm leading it.
Yeah.
Now we're not gonna. I really want to talk about this.
Hold on a second.
Okay. I really want to talk about this, and it is a spoiler, but I'm not going to say anything about who, what, when, where, why. But people die. A lot of important people die.
I don't know about a lot of important people.
I disagree with that.
If it's not shown on camera...
It is shown on camera. There is some that are shown on camera.
Well, there's one that's shown on camera.
More than one.
There's two that's shown on
We'll
camera.
talk about that in a little bit, though.
Okay. Do you want to like get to a point where we just spoiler warning?
No, it just came out.
It's
It's very,
new,
very
a little
new.
too new. Okay.
But people actually die, which, for God's sakes, finally.
Yeah. Well, we could...
Thor Ragnarok is meant to be the death of gods. Gods are supposed to die.
Oof.
And people actually do die in this movie. I was thoroughly impressed. I'll tell you why later.
Okay.
Hello. Let's gush about the villain.
There's not a lot of gushing to be had because
I haven't gushed yet. Then.
She's pretty serviceable.
She's cool. I really like her.
She's really she's cool. She's like not as she's a better villain than you're used to from Marvel.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a lot to do, and I wish she was in the movie more.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I feel like the two plots of Thor being trapped in this Colosseum world and Hela taking over Asgard, I think those two plots were kind of disconnected. Like every time it swapped from one to another, I'm like, okay, we're doing this now.
I did feel that, and I was kind of disappointed sometimes. Like, oh, we're going back to Asgard.
Yeah,
I just want to keep seeing Thor be this. I was having good times in the theater.
Yes. And But Hela is a good villain. Kate Blanchett really did a good job.
She did.
Um,
I love that wolf.
yeah,
It was so cool.
Yeah,
I like wolves.
I'm pretty. I'm pretty indifferent on the wolf because it was just random. There's a phone call. Never mind. It was just random CGI big thing that didn't really do anything. But
I agree, but I still think wolves are cool.
yeah.
Like I said, it played with my child.
So yeah, no. Obviously, it's a Marvel movie. It has all the flaws you would expect from a Marvel movie, but for a Marvel movie, it's super funny, super enjoyable. Go check it out.
Keep this in mind. I have bought two Marvel movies. I apologize. I thought originally it was one, but I've bought all of two.
I've only bought one. It was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
No,
You've
it's
bought more
Guardians of
than
the
that,
Galaxy.
haven't you?
Nope, just Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, this isn't the MCU, but I bought Logan,
Okay.
and I've bought Deadpool.
All right.
Those are the only two Marvel movies I own.
Yeah.
Because they're just good on their own. They each have their own place, and I can pick them up, I can watch them, and I can enjoy them.
Yeah, those are both pretty good.
Now-
we didn't talk about them because they're not part of the MCU.
Yes.
But yeah.
Now, I've never touched the MCU, like any of them. I don't own a single one. I know people who own every single one. I know people
Yeah.
who own their favorites. I haven't had one that I've liked enough to buy, and that's including Guardians. And I loved Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I like Guardians more than you like Guardians, and you own Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to buy Thor Ragnarok.
I probably will too. I thought it was so fun. I want to see it again. Really,
Yeah.
I really do.
It was...
And that's
It was
more than
really good.
that's more than I can say about practically every Marvel movie I've ever seen. Because
Mm-hmm.
every MCU movie I see it, I'm like, I see it out of obligation. Because if there's like a movie I'm interested in seeing down the line, you have to keep up with the ones you're not interested in because it's like
And
the
with the-
plot's gonna matter.
With this decade-long wait for
Yeah,
Infinity Gauntlet,
yeah.
Infinity Crisis,
Infinity War. Yes.
Let's just keep going.
Yeah.
With this decade-long wait for that, like, you gotta now.
Yeah.
Like, you have to. You've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah, it's an obligation at this point, and the fact that I could sit through a Marvel movie that didn't feel like a chore, it felt like I was there because I wanted to be there and I was being entertained. I give Thor Ragnarok's I give Thor Ragnarok major props for that. So, I love it. I want to see it again. Which is every Marvel movie I see. That was the point I was trying to make. I got sidetracked. Every Marvel movie I see it, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. Don't need to watch that again. I'll just remember the core plot from that, and I'll be good. Mm-hmm. Ragnarok, I want to buy, and I want to keep watching it on repeat because it's so fun.
It was.
And I loved it a lot.
Oh my god, just those eyes and action scenes.
Yes.
I was having so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
my
it was
goodness.
so fun.
I was just like, yes, yes, yeah. Oh, I was like, and then I got out of the theater and I'm like, I want to thunder punch somebody in the face. I
Yeah.
was so pumped.
I think we enjoyed it despite the fact that tickets were $16.
That's true.
which is that's a topic for another episode.
Too expensive.
Yeah, because it's a Marvel movie.
Because it's a movie.
Okay, well, I think we can call that good. This is a pretty focused episode. We talked about Marvel. We talked about Call of Duty. So everybody so we talked about the two things that are most hated by everybody in pop culture. Good, and we gushed over them.
Yeah, it's
So-
true.
Yeah, so this is our normie episode, I'm afraid. But
Come at me.
yeah.
Let's finish this off with a. I'm gonna start calling people out. I'm looking at you, Wheel Justice. I'm
Yes.
looking at you, Roberta.
Oh, I was gonna give.
I'm looking at you, everybody else who listens to this podcast and doesn't send me an email.
Oh,
I don't have an email from any of y'all.
yeah.
And that's including
Did you see
Colin.
that? whatever his name is, Alahayron, whatever, he posted a comment on the last episode. Have you seen that?
No.
And he was like, "Why does Josh keep asking for an email? It's so pointless." I was like,
Because I'm sad and lonely.
wow, savage.
Okay, Alejandro, listen here.
Alejandro.
Alejandro. I want an email. I want an email. And if somebody doesn't send me an email, I'm going to start signing up for things to send me emails, and I'm going to read those emails on this podcast if you don't start sending me emails.
Yes.
I want an email really bad.
I know you do.
I check every time we do this, and nobody sends us emails. I can't wait for us to like come back one day and we'll do a podcast, and I'll open it up, and then all of a sudden it'll just be like a flooded inbox, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh my god. And then I'll go to the podcast and I'll be like, stop sending us emails. But that's not today.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, if you have nothing to do for 2 minutes, send me an email. It can say you suck. It can say please suck me. It can do anything involving sucking, unless it's your inner child. Don't go there.
Yes.
But as far as emails go, send me something. I'll be happy. Finally, once in my life.
So you haven't checked this episode?
I did actually.
You should check again. Maybe somebody sent you something.
God damn it, Colin. I wonder who it could be.
I probably got the thing wrong.
Email address.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check and it's gonna be oh wait. We got an email. Oh. 0 minutes ago I got an email. It's by Colin.
Oh, so I did get the thing right. Got it.
And it says, I can't tell if that's what it says or if that's the subject. Which one is the subject? Is that the subject?
Yes.
Okay, the subject is you suck. And the email says ugly.
Yes. I actually meant to do that before the show started.
I hate you so much. You interrupted my ending where I'm yelling at people, and you.
I think in the recording you can hear me like typing the email as you're talking.
I'm sure you can.
Okay, well,
send me an email.
we're at
Alejandro,
a little over exactly 2 hours.
Roberto,
so let's
Wheel Justice.
Let's call her an
Zachariah.
Zachariah.
Colin O'Man.
Let's call it an episode.
Thomas, you better send me an email.
Say the ending jig. Dance day ending dance.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm sorry, Charlie. I scared you.
Oh, do the ending dance. That's it. That's the stuff.
Have a good day.
No, keep going.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. See you on the next episode.
Yeah.